So as some of you guys know, I'm a decently big Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I've been playing ever since the first game, and I gotta say, when the movie came out, I was a little bit like, yeah, it was okay. It was probably like a half and half. But the reality was it didn't have a big budget. It didn't even have like a lot of faith by the company it was going to succeed. And it very much did. So there has been a lot of anticipation for the sequel. And we did just get an update that does suggest that the Five Nights at Freddy's star, obviously the guy I look up to now, and Josh Hutcherson, who had a really good role, teases that there will be a bigger sequel. The world just opens up in a big way, he reckons. Again, the last time I said something opens up in a big way was a little bit controversial, a little bit inappropriate for YouTube, if you guys get what I mean. But you know what? He's doing it right now. We're not being taken out of context here. He's saying it, you know, about Five Nights at Freddy's. And the reality is of this whole situation is that the first Five Nights at Freddy's movie, it went to cinemas, but at the same time, I believe in America, it came out on streaming services like on the same day, which was just crazy to think. Made it seem so low budget. Made it seem like they just didn't care. And horror movies aren't always received the best, but if you can get a horror movie to be just an average reception, that is good in anyone's books, because that's just what we're dealing with right now. And Five Nights at Freddy's did get that average reception, and that was more than probably what the studio thought it was going to get. So the reality is not only will the second one 100% be exclusive to cinemas, but it will also, I think, have double the budget, double the marketing, and could ultimately be one of the biggest, I think, horror movies we've ever seen. Could be literally their biggest if they really did it well, because the first one made like over 200 million, being a small budget film that had little to no marketing, and it was released on streaming. You're telling me the second is going to amp all of that up and be released just to cinemas? I wouldn't be surprised if this film got to like 400 million straight up if they really advertised it right and played their cards. Now, I don't know what this movie is going to be about. We know the first one took inspiration from like 3 different Five Nights at Freddy's games and was really all over the place. If I'm being honest here, I was semi-disappointed on it just because it didn't completely take place in one location. And if you know what I mean by that, there is a movie called The Guilty by Jake Gyllenhaal, which for like 90% of the movie, it takes place in one location, and the other 10%, it's scattered over like, you know, another room in the building, or is like, I think in the end, it's like him at court. I think if Five Nights at Freddy's 2 wants to be truly to what it should be, I think at least 70% of the film should just be in the Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria and should just be of him discovering, you know, what's going on and introduce all of those horror elements that make the game really well. Don't get me wrong, some of the best parts of the movie, though, the first one, were about Josh Hutcherson and the reality that he had to live outside of life. That's why I'm not saying it should be 90% like The Guilty. I still think maybe 30% of the movie should be set outside and whatnot, but it shouldn't be like 50-50 like the last film was. If you really want to capitalize on this film being a horror movie and have the best possible jump scares and the best possible drama and action with it, 70% of it should be set in the Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria. So I'm going to be really interested to see how this, of course, all does go down. I'd very much like to know all of your thoughts and opinions on this. Do you guys think the new Five Nights at Freddy's movie is going to be good? Are you guys looking forward to it? Or do you think it's just going to be an average horror film or whatever, just like the first one? I'd very much like to know. Obviously, subscribe to my sports channel, MIRL/vlogging channels, which will be getting linked down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.